city attorney recommending that we continue the court for whatever reason. I have to fill out an affidavit, which I've done, and saying that we comply with all the requirements, that the judge sits 6 inches higher than the rest of the court, that we have a gavel, that I have a robe, that we have security, we have a flag. And that was
The new Utah
required
State
by
flag
next March.
behind
The new
9th,
flag.
or we couldn't be a court. So, I mean, weird things like that. So we are, and our clerk has to be totally certified and caught up on all of her training and recertification hours, which she's done. So anyway, I filled out that part, and then there's a resolution that needs to be passed and signed by the city, and then we send it in, and we're good for another 4 years.
So Judge, are you the only one that sits up here? They get you that 6 inches higher? I mean,
No, I think it was mainly for you guys they did it. I just happened to inherit it. No. Yeah, it's just,
was that one of the requirements you said, or was
it is a requirement that the judge has to sit 6 inches higher than the rest of the courtroom.
Oh, okay.
In Garland, for example, we never had that. There was just a table. And years ago, the state said, unless you rebuild everything and put it up 6 inches, we're closing the court, which forced them to redo it. So, yeah, we sit higher than everybody just because it's a requirement, as weird as it sounds.
So I think we all got the greatest of faith in you. Do you need anything from us?
No, I tell Lindsay all the time, I am blessed to be here in Tremont. And I've done it now for 26 years. And Tremont has been so good to me. I've always had the full support of the mayor and the city council, doesn't matter who it was. A lot of courts suffer from this notion that we have to make tons of money or else that there's no reason to have a court, and there's pressure from the mayor and the city council, which is a conflict of the separation of governmental entities. And I've never had that pressure at all. It's just I've been able to do the court the way it's supposed to be run, and so it's been awesome. And so we're just hoping to get it going for another 4 years.
How many more 4-year terms you gonna take?
Not even one. But we'll find somebody good to come in and take over.
Any other
Someone's in
questions?
training.
We'll find somebody. I don't know what it's gonna be, and I don't know an exact date, but I won't make it through the 4 years.
Will we have to ratify a new judge? Yeah,
That's a fun process too.
is it?
I can hardly wait. Ah,
Well,
any other questions for the judge? You have any more questions for us?
No, I just, again, I appreciate all you do. There's never budget issues. I guess what I'm saying is it's nice you stay out of my way, and I try to stay out of yours.
Well, I walk by and I see you
Oh, and I
here.
appreciate that, I mean, and Sean sticks his head in once in a while and sits in court, and I appreciate the interest. And that's the other thing, you're all always welcome to come on a Monday and sit in court and see what we do. So you're always welcome to do that.
Quite a process.
Thank you.
Very good.
thank you.
Okay?
Thank you for everything
Okay.
that you do for
So
us.
I'll just get out of here, and I assume that resolution will be done later on, right?
Yeah, it's coming up a little bit later in the policy session, so,
Perfect.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm good to go? Okay, thanks so much. Appreciate it. See ya.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, we covered everything we need to cover up. to-
25 years he's been here. That's crazy. I mean, because like I said, the last time was DeVerl,
Yeah,
Judge Payne.
that's true.
That's right.
You remember him well?
That's true. Oh,
Remember him well. He lived 2 houses down from me.
I remember him too.
Okay,
sun
well,
burned down his
let's go through, we got some time, and let's go through the agenda and see where we're at. Let's see, we're gonna, Brady, would you lead us in the pledge? I was gonna ask you, not now, just at the beginning of the meeting and when we get ready to go. I just thought I'd ask you before we get started. Tonight we're going to, let's see, before we do that, Declaration of conflicts, is there any, as you've gone through the agenda and everything, is there any problem there?
Nope.
Okay, good. The agenda, I think we're good there. Review of the minutes.
See them.
November 7th. Okay, then we have the Citizenship Awards, and I've asked Connie if she would present those awards tonight. And so we're looking forward to that. I've got, are we going to have all three schools? I got a little, they will all be here then, so. Principal Cedar Home, and I'm hoping, and Balls, and then David Lee.
Yeah, you don't see
David
Mr.
Lee's
Lee
one.
here.
You don't see him. Used to be involved with him in 4-H. Okay, let's see. Years of service, and Mark, you're going to present for Jenny,
Yeah, I have it right up for Jenny, and she
And
will
then-
be here.
and she will be here, and then Laura Lee will be,
And Jenny will.
she'll present the one for Laura Lee.
Laura Lee is coming back up from St. George, so she may or may not, but she's going to try and be.
She's going to try to be here, okay. And then Monica is going to be back, I guess they went to get some dinner, and they're going to be back, and she's going to give us a presentation on the Box Elder Chamber. And the Box Elder Family Support Center, is that, you have, who we got?
Do you know who called?
Just called and requested, I think they're gonna be asking for some financial help is what they're coming.
I'm sure, okay. All right, and that's something that we've always been able to
We've
support.
done the New Hope Crisis Center. Is it the same?
No, it's,
It's a
Or is this
different
new? This is new?
well, yeah, I don't know if they've ever come before.
Oh, okay, I was not sure if they were, this group
She
was,
said it's in the building where the Boys and Girls Club is and.
yeah, yeah,
That's where they're out of, but
okay. A
I've
public,
never seen it in the finance, that kind of an expense. Have we done that before?
We've donated to like the Chamber and the New Hope Crisis Center, Boys and Girls Club, and it's in 1041. It's in the City Council's section. So
but this is something
it's
kind
a
of,
couple $1,000.
this will
a
be
year.
something kind of new this time, so we'll have to decide, we'll have to listen to the, you guys will have to decide what to do. On the public comments, we'll limit that to 3 minutes, and then would maybe some questions on snow removal, Paul, so maybe if you're sort of available and answer questions that maybe might come up there a little bit. The canvas, go through that. We'll have Lindsay do that for us. Let's see, I'm trying to move through this a little bit. The October financial statements, was there any questions at all with any of that? In the warrant register? We have the annual meeting schedule laid out for the next year, for 2024. Anyway, that's, okay. Item number D, the discussion and consideration of adopting ordinance 23-09, creating accessory dwelling units, unit regulations by adopting the Chapter 1.21 of the accessory dwelling units and amending Chapter 1.07 residential zone districts and Chapter 1.03 definitions of the Tremont City Land Use Code. Mark, do you want to give us a little rundown on that?
That's what
I
Sam
know
was-
that's what Sam did, and
Yeah,
we went all through all of that, but is there anything in addition to,
in addition to what Sam had, no, he gave a
He
pretty
did a great job.
clear explanation of
Okay.
why we're doing it and what we're trying to achieve and what's in the ordinance. So
okay. Any other questions that we need to bring up at that? Item number E, discussion and consideration of adopting ordinance number 23-10, amending provisions from Title III, City Government, Part 3, -1025, Powers and Duties of the Manager of the Revised Ordinances of Tremont City Corporation, modifying the manager's duty to appoint persons to city offices with the advice and consent of the city council. Mark, why don't you bring us up to date on that?
Okay, yeah, so as you know, we are recruiting for a city planner. And it's been in the past part of the ordinance that the city manager, with advice and consent of the council, appoints the city planner. As you can see on the screen, it's only one little change that we take that out of the powers and duties of the city manager with advice and consent. Just as we are recruiting for the planner, we don't feel like it's going to be at the department director level. If we do recruit a department director, it would be the community development director, which is still in the advise and consent of the council. So it's just taking that out and allowing the staff to hire the city planner without coming to the city council meetings with advise and consent. We had one planner on the hook. You probably all have heard, I don't know if all of you have heard of, but we gave him a conditional offer, and then I think he negotiated it with his current
With the county and-
as a current, and decided against it. So we are back to recruiting. So, yep.
I read through this before we met, and it's my understanding when you read this that he still has to get the consent of the city council. He just can't go ahead and hire somebody. He still has to get the consent of the city council,
With
correct?
For this
Not for a
position, it's
planner.
not an appointed position.
But he does for fire chief, police chief,
The
public.
community
works,
development
community-
director,
Yeah.
the
Any of them others have to be approved by us, except
Not a director.
this planner will not. Just an employee, just like the fire department. We don't approve all them, and
Knowing,
he had you guys on the interview board anyway,
yeah,
correct?
right.
So representation from here.
Well, that's what brought this on then, is the city planner. They're trying to get hired then.
yeah.
He was on the old, and
Yeah, I see where they cross it out.
because he was probably at one point thinking that he was going to be a manager.
Yeah.
And now
Like
he's just going to be an
kind of run the
employee.
community development department,
Yeah.
which we could still hire a community development director, but that would take more budget, and we'd have to come through the budgeting process, and then it would be more like when we would hire a department head, and the city council is involved in those interviews and in the recruitment process a lot more.
That makes sense.
Any other questions? Okay.
That one.
Item number F, discussion and consideration of adopting resolution number 23-70, requesting the recertification of the Tremont Justice Court, this is the judge, from the Justice Court Standards Committee and the Utah Judicial Council. I think we heard from the judge, and I don't know if there's any other questions or anything. I think it's pretty straightforward. We're okay with that? Discussion and consideration of adopting resolution number 23-71, ratifying the Harvest Village. Now, these next three items have already been recorded. This is a ratification of
Correct.
the resolution,
Of the development agreement.
the development agreements.
Yep.
So we got the,
So Harvest Village is on the south end of town, and it's kind of across the street from the South Stake Center. And the River Valley is right next to, on BR Mountain Road. That's why they extended BR Mountain Road. Then you turn to the north off of BR Mountain Road, and there's a few townhomes that have been, the development agreement has been made with River Valley. And the last one is the homes at Tremont, right?
Yep.
and that's on Fourth West, right there by IFA. And it's the
Bingham's
first,
and IFA right in that little
it's the
section right in there.
first phase, the one that's farthest away from the Bingham trucking
Oh,
outfit. So,
okay.
And Sawyer Apartments, we haven't got to that process yet.
no,
They've got it staked out over there,
Yeah.
but that's
They
as
haven't-
far as they've
yeah.
went. Yeah.
The Sawyer ones are just north of that, the one that we're talking about, the subject
No.
one.
Oh, they're south.
Sawyer's the south one, but
South.
they used to own the property there. That's where the Sawyer one is. The homes at Tremont and butt up against, the mobile home and right across from Matheson's
trees.
entryway.
Yep,
They're almost identical piece of properties.
Yep.
Yeah, they are.
They're
One's gonna be
joining
built as townhomes and one's gonna be built as apartments,
apartments.
but
But define ratifications. Have we already made a decision? We're just,
They've already been, the development agreements have already been recorded.
yeah, the process was very administrative, and going through it, it followed all of the ordinances and the codes. And so the development agreement has been made and recorded. This is just ratifying it. And we put it in a resolution form so that we can easily find it, and then we can go back to the special conditions. Typically, yeah, if you pull out, the only change in any of the development agreements for the most part, are these special conditions, and that's if they negotiate any sort of water shares or any of that kind of.
And just as a matter of clarification for Paul's sake and everybody else, these, they've all provided the necessary,
yeah, if you see there, they were required to
shares.
turn over
Oh.
0.85 shares.
yeah.
And they bought a complete share, and then we bought their excess share, excess 0.15, to throw in our pool.
They bought it at the going rate.
Yeah,
Will their streetlights match Matheson's streetlights? Same?
their streetlights won't be on street lighting, it'll be on building lighting,
Oh.
so it won't have anything like that.
so can you help me understand, this has already been done.
Recorded.
It's been recorded, so why has this become a legislative thing now rather than just administrative?
We've always ratified the development agreement after.
Yeah,
To put it in our,
We
to put it
can't
in our,
change anything,
it's just a it's more of a, it's a,
so it puts our stamp on something that whether we agree or don't agree, we're agreeing.
Well, we have a template development agreement that you guys have approved that we
Uh-huh.
use. So we're just showing you that here it is with the special conditions. It's been recorded.
And then they put it in a resolution so they can
So you can find it.
pull it up easy.
More of a bookkeeping.
It's kind of like the warrant register too. We've already paid the bills. You're just approving that, yep, you've seen that we cut those checks.
Yep.
and if there's questions about developments or subdivisions that are happening, you could go back to the packets, or you could always come to us, but it's to keep you informed of what's happening as well.
No, doesn't make sense, but.
anybody else have any other questions on? So that's, 72, 73, and 71. So maybe we can jump down to item number J. Discussion and consideration of adopting resolution number 23-74, declaring certain vehicles from the city public works fleet as surplus and authorizing the public works director to dispose of these vehicles. And so maybe you can just, there we got that list of vehicles that you're going to dispose of. And
These are just vehicles that have lived their life in the public works. And as I've told previous councils, don't look at the miles on them, because the miles, I know
they're hard miles, huh?
Councilman Wood always would look at one of those and say, well, it's only got 80,000 miles. Well, it's 20-something years old, almost 30 years old. And those miles are in-town miles and snow pushing miles, which probably if you take a snow pushing mile, you can multiply it by 10 to say, because it's hard on those vehicles. And so these are just vehicles that have lived their life. Their only value is scrap value. There's really not any value because the only one that does run would be the S10.
Yeah.
And it doesn't run well. That's the one we've been using to
That's a water truck. huh?
water the vehicle. And believe me, there's many days that
We're
we had to
putting
go
new
rescue,
stuff on that all the time.
Lane from-
Wayne Williams on at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning when it did not run for him. So, but yeah, there's just vehicles, and we can't dispose of them until they're listed as surplus property.
3 of them was pretty beat up snowplow
believe me,
vehicles.
We, like the 95 dump truck, we kept it running as long because we would keep it in our snowplow fleet, and it would only get used during the winter. And last year it went down, and the cost of repair was just not worth trying to put money into it just to push some snow.
They're really rusting away. That Bob or dump, the big
Six-wheel.
truck. That one, the whole back end is rusting out of it.
Now, that's where the sander used to be,
Yeah.
so you get a lot of salt and sand, and it takes their toll on those vehicles.
What are we looking at as far as, thinking in terms of snow removal and that kind of thing? What are we thinking in terms of replacements for some of these?
We
this a-
have vehicles lined out on our capital equipment purchase plan,
But I don't think we're gonna replace with bobtails, are we?
I will probably, we still have to haul gravel and stuff. We'll just see. A lot of it is flat, is 1-ton
Yeah.
trucks with no small because they're easier to do the cul-de-sacs. But there again, that pushing snow is hard on them. That's why we do a lot of snow pushing with those boxes that we've purchased to go on our backhoes and stuff because they can handle a little more of that. And backhoes get traded in every 2 years before they get into heavy repair costs.
Could you give us a little update on the sweeper? I know.
I had to go and repent and apologize, but I was told the truck, and I haven't touched base with them this week, it was coming to their factory. Finally, Freightliner was gonna get them a truck the week after Thanksgiving, so that'd been last week. And then it takes them about 3 weeks to outfit it. And so their hopes was to get it to us shortly before Christmas. We've been waiting on it since we ordered it the 5th of October of last year. So it's taken that long. And I need to touch base with the sales rep, not the local one, the one actually that works in the factory down in Arizona, and see where we are, if we're still on that schedule. And my instruction to him is just keep us informed. I got upset, and I shouldn't have, but the mayor witnessed it. And I had to apologize. But, it's a lot about communication. If they just let us know, I mean, we understand because we deal with it in every issue of our existence anymore in public works, is from getting pipe to manholes to parts to screens, treatment technology. It just doesn't come like it used to. It drags out and drags out. So hopefully by Christmas, we'll have a new sweeper. Woohoo. That's the hope.
It'll look shiny. It'll be all dusty by spring, but
It probably won't get used till spring because we don't like to run them when it's freezing because,
right.
it's got water and we don't want to take a chance of freezing up any of the pumps and stuff on those trucks. So,
So can anybody just come put a bid on any
but
of them?
once we open it up, once it's surplus, we can post it and let people know and they can come bid on the equipment.
Will you have like the month of January to bid on any of these?
We
and
can, or
somebody wants them, they
word
get
of mouth
them?
or whatever.
I work with GovDeals.
Yeah, it ain't where we can't get the equipment to them.
Yeah.
Well, you can say you have to
So-
come and pick it up.
Oh, they've done that with
Usually
that ambulance.
Yeah, they got $12,000. That ambulance got $12,000.
So-
$1,200 ambulance, but Put it on there and try, and then we'll whack it.
Yeah,
to
you can
somebody else.
say as is, you have to come haul it away.
Maybe that sweeper would be the one issue that, there might be some parts. that
You'd be
someone-
surprised. Remember Lynn's old Parks truck?
Yeah.
Didn't have a bed,
Yep.
and they came and hauled it away for way more than I thought they would.
That's all I have, Mayor, on that, so.
All right, very good. You have any questions for Paul? All right, well, we'll buzz through this then. Discussion and consideration of adopting resolution number 23-75, establishing a separate accounting fund for solid waste. I know this is, Mark's been working on this, and anyway. why
Yeah,
don't you just-
so this is for accounting purposes. Currently, the solid waste with recycling and garbage collection, curbside, is all done within the general fund, Fund 10. And as we met with Curtis, our financial director, last couple weeks ago, he recommended that we pull anything that has to do with solid waste and put it into its own separate fund, which would be treated as an enterprise fund, which is more business type accounting. And that way we could track our revenues, our expenses, anything that had to do with solid waste, and make sure that our fees are set correctly, and which we've been tracking. It's becoming more and more significant as we just took on 311 new homes or new cans, and the price has increased from our contractor, and everything's just become more significant when it comes to picking up solid waste and recycling, and so we thought it'd be best, and a lot of cities do it. Put all of that into its separate fund. So this would be done not immediately. It would be done as the fiscal year 2025 budget is being formulated. So.
I was, if I could just add a side note, I was in California and they had pink garbage cans. Okay, and I inquired about them, the pink dumpsters, and they're for breast awareness. And the people would pay more money for that can, and they would pay it over an extended period of time, and then that money was donated to that cause. And I thought, that's a neat idea. I
We do
wonder-
it with license plates, Brett, you got college firefighters. That money goes back into a pool to the city or the state, and then the
I wonder
departments
if
get a chunk
I
of
just
it.
wondered if we didn't want to entertain looking into that. I mean, it'd be a neat city-sponsored activity, and what I think would be neat is you go and you say, okay, you buy one of these cans, it's $50 a month for 5 years or 4 years, and then it's, then it drops back to its price so that they're not infinitely charged for that amount. But people could donate to a really good cause, and the city could.
Yeah, it'd be a little
support.
different, stand out in the city a little bit.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
That's interesting.
maybe you could look into that and see if we can.
I wonder
get
what kind of
them-
molding. Can you get any color on the molding?
They can, but it'd probably be a cost more per can because of
Yeah.
the run making up the special color for a small run.
Right.
So, but
I don't know.
I'm sure they
Bad
can.
idea.
They make the blue cans and they make the 2 different color green
Yeah.
cans we've gotten in the past. So
Well, I think it'd become kind of like, oh, look, they got a pink can. They support breast awareness, And I think I don't know. It may put anyway. I just thought it was a
Good
neat
thought.
idea.
I mean, really. I wouldn't buy one, but
I would.
somebody else might.
I would.
Discussion and consideration of adopting resolution number 23-76. This is amending resolution number 23-29, selecting health insurance carriers and defining the city's contribution for health insurance employee benefits for the 23-24 fiscal year. And again, I think this is something that, Mark, that you can,
Lindsay is going to
Lindsay
take.
can bring us up to speed on.
Yeah, just one change. We didn't have any consideration in here for if a council member had the ability to get health insurance through their employer. it only mentioned the marketplace and Medicare. So we added that if they're on an employer-sponsored health plan, the city would still cover 90% of their premiums on health insurance, marketplace, and Medicare.
Okay. Have any questions on any of that? Council? All right. Let's see,
I had one, I gotta go back to the one with our meetings next year. Which one's
Yeah.
called meeting schedule?
meeting schedule, yeah.
You see that
Item number
only
C.
one in November?
Because of elections.
The election day would be on- well,
Oh, election day.
we wouldn't have an election here, but it's still.
Okay.
for everyone else.
Yeah.
Big one too.
Yeah, it's a big one too, so.
Okay, that's that one, and then I know with Christmas on the, okay. That's all I had.
Okay. Let's see.
Done a little bit early, Mayor.
We're gonna, if we keep going here, we can almost have our city council done. Review of the calendar. I think the big thing is our getting together on the 21st. Any other items on the calendar that we need to worry about?
Yeah, we can go down this list. So second Friday stroll again this week, trying to support our local businesses.
Is that the last one? Is December the last?
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Start back up in January,
in
so you can
January,
scratch
okay.
that one.
So I was out of town, but there was a parade with car lights on it or something. Did we sponsor that?
That was part of the, so we normally do the Christmas with Santa at the square.
Mhm.
But we did the party at the library park.
Mhm.
And we did a Christmas light show or parade first time this year too. So that was part of the city.
I heard from a lot of people that that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we had about half of the participants back out because it was a blizzard almost. But it was still really cool. We had
Okay.
people, as far as Clearfield that I know came up for it. So that was cool.
Okay, when they said that, oh, we're going to do it again next year, and so I just wanted to encourage you to keep it going.
To work with the community.
Okay, good job.
For the newly elected officials, and this is for anybody as well, if you feel like you still need some training in your seat, we have two opportunities, one in person on December 9th and one online on December 16th. And if you get with me or Lindsay, we can get you registered for that. It comes with a little booklet. Might be too late to get the booklet for the 16th meeting, but if you go in person, they'll have them there. And then just some holidays, and there's some other trainings at the beginning of the year. Also, if you want to go, they're just 1 hour trainings via Zoom. There's a Land Use 101, how does the Utah legislature work, and legislative preview that you can also sign up for, and I'd be happy to help you get signed up for those as well.
And our first council meeting in January will be on the 2nd, right?
11th, or 2nd, you're right.
Yeah. Okay,
January 2nd, and we'll swear in the newly elected
okay.
officials.
Let's see,
Date, right?
Oh, January 16th.
All right, I'm like 14 to, yeah.
Yeah, the second city council in.
The 16th, yeah. That was my mistake. January 16th. First and third Tuesday, so.
Okay, we got a few minutes. Why don't we take a little break? We've been going for a while here, so we'll take a little break and we'll start our meeting at 7 o'clock sharp.
Thank you, sir.
early, but let's go ahead and get started. Let's see, I think there's some chairs, are there some chairs in the back there where you can sit, or?
Couple everybody.
There's still a couple of chairs over here and there's a chair up front. Sorry, we got a full house. That's a good thing. We'd like to welcome all of you here with us tonight for our city council meeting, for the Tremont City Council. We're really grateful that you're here. We're grateful for you young people that you're here with us tonight. This is, one day, this is going to be you guys that are going to have to figure out how to run a city and how to do things and that kind of thing. So this will be a good experience for you to see how it works. It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's a very, very important thing in the world. We'd like to, and you parents, thank you. Thank you for these young people are being recognized because of their conduct. And that starts with you parents. And so we appreciate all of you for your good examples and who you are. I have, let's see, council, we have a declaration of conflicts of interest. Are there any conflicts with anybody? And as we go through some of this, it might go through kind of fast, but we've gone through pretty well in detail this whole agenda. So we're going to move through it kind of maybe a little fast, but we have studied them very much. Okay, approval of the agenda.
Oh, you gotta go to the opening ceremony. We didn't.
Oh, I didn't. I just ran right through that,
Going
didn't
right
I?
by it, Mayor.
Thanks for reminding me. Okay, let's see. I'm asked our council member Rick Siemens if he would give us an opening prayer. Rick?
Our Father in heaven, we're indeed grateful for the opportunity we have to meet together as a city council. We're grateful for the opportunity we have to live in such a fine area, for the blessings which we have and enjoy here and the freedoms that are ours. We're grateful for the opportunity to serve, and wilt thou be with us. Bless us this day that we might be led and directed and be able to know thy will and help the city grow and the city to become a better place. We're grateful for all which is ours. Be with us, bless us with thy spirit, and help us to always serve thee, we pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I asked our fire chief, Brady Hanson, if he'd lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'd like to ask everyone to stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick and Brady. Okay, now we can go on with our meeting, huh?
Yep.
Is that all right, Wes?
Number 1's over, go to number 2, Mayor.
We got number 2 and 3 done, so we're going to go to number 4. Approval of the agenda.
The motion, we approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Motion by Lyle Vance and seconded by Rick. All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the minutes for November 7th, 2023. Council?
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes for November of 23.
I'll second that motion.
Been moved by Wes and seconded by Connie. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, this is what we're all here for tonight, most of us. Our citizenship awards. Tonight, I've asked our council member, Connie Archibald, if she would present these awards this evening.
This is kind of a special time, and it's the young people of our community are the ones that are going to be our future leaders. And it's really important in Tremont that we have good citizenship, that we know how to treat each other. And so these students that we're going to honor tonight, their classes have over 100 children in each one of those grades. And so we have three schools in the city limits of Tremont: McKinley, North Park, and Alice C. Harris. And so tonight, we're going to honor these students as they've been nominated by their schools. This is a big deal. Moms and dads, thank you for your example, for teaching your children how to be responsible, respectful, and safe. And those three things is what we're talking about tonight, and it's citizenship, all in all. So I'm going to call out the names. We're going to start with McKinley, okay? So we have a student from the kindergarten class of McKinley. This is Maverick Anderson. Maverick Anderson. Is Maverick here tonight? Yeah. Maverick, come on over here. Oh, Maverick, you're wonderful. Here's your award, and then you get a gift card.
Well, you can stay up here.
Stand up here. Okay, is that the best? I'll say. Okay, then we have a first grader from McKinley. This is Eduardo Perez. Come on up here, first grader. Amazing, thank you. And second grade at McKinley, we have Mikhail Shields. Is Mikhail here? She is. Mikhail! So excited! And she's just wonderful. Mikhail, thank you for what you do at the school. Third grade at McKinley is Kinley Bittner. Kinley! Oh! Thank you, Kinley. What an honor. Thank you, Kinley, for coming. And fourth grade, we have Boston Neville. Is Boston here? Thank you so much. And fifth grade at McKinley, we have, is it Harlem Ward? Am I pronouncing that right? Harlem, okay. Thank you for being here. So that's our students from McKinley. Take a good long look. Don't they look wonderful? Wow. Thank you for being here. And parents, thank you for being here. Let's go on with North Park kindergartner. The kindergarten chosen at North Park is Hayes Miller. Hayes, are you here? Stand next to those great kids. First grade at North Park is Elliot Moore. Elliot! Oh, over here. Thank you so much. Here's your certificate. Come on over here. And second grade at North Park is Tyson Hunsaker. Tyson. Thank you, Tyson. Congratulations. Third grader at North Park is Lucy Archibald. Lucy. Last name. Thank you, Lucy. Okay, fourth grader at North Park is Annabelle Gable. Is Annabelle here? Congratulations, thank you. And finally, a fifth grader is Jordan Curl. Jordan. Thank you. Wow, what a group. Okay, let's go to Alice C. Harris Intermediate. We have a sixth grader. This is Chloe Hansen. Chloe. And last, and every bit as wonderful, a seventh grader is Caleb Jensen. Caleb. So these are our students for the month of, this is for November. All of these students, can you just imagine, over 100 students in their classes. And these are the students that were chosen because of their citizenship, because of being responsible, respectful, and safe. Mayor, come on down. The mayor is another perfect example. And our principal, Dak Cedarholm, please come and join us. Dax is our
And
principal.
if we can get the
from,
taller ones in the back.
Northgard. Just kind of come up front so that the mayor can.
And we'll give you all plenty of time to take pictures.
And we'll
'Cause this is the best part of the meeting.
Yep. Hey.
Wait, Caleb's almost as tall as you.
Yeah.
That's a tall kid.
Squeeze a little bit closer, guys. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Where's their coupons to, Lindy?
Sugar.
To where?
Sugar.
Oh, I like Twisted Sugar if you need a friend to go.
Were there any kids that we missed? I tend to have that happen sometimes. Okay, got everyone this time?
Woohoo.
Thank you again, parents. These are the leaders right here.
And it's all, it's not, it's AI driven. It's factual. It's gonna get someone's.
We certainly invite you to stay if you'd like. But I have one request. A lot of times people will congregate out in the foyer there, and it makes it a little bit hard for people to hear. So if maybe we can just move a little bit to the south or whatever, and you can talk to your heart's content, but we have a meeting also that we need to conduct. So thank you.
Congratulations, that was awesome. It's fun.
Mass exodus here. All right. Let's move on here. We have our Years of Service Awards. Jenny Christensen, I haven't seen her.
Jenny's back.
Jenny's
Oh, there
there.
you are, back in there, okay. Jenny, do you want to come up and,
Give her a second so that you guys can.
yeah, that, we can, sure, we can.
Yeah.
Years.
Jenny is our Senior Center Director. 15 years of service, and Mark's going to present. Oh, here, there's both of them right there.
All right. Well, this is Jenny Christensen. No relation, by the way. She's been our senior center everything.
I have.
And it says it a little bit in her bio, I think, here. But Jenny has worked for Tremont City for 15 years. She was raised in Fielding with lots of family. I'm actually going to read it in first person for Jenny. With lots of family around me. Jenny says, I met my husband and best friend at Bear River High School, and we attended Snow College together. We settled down in Bear River City, where he's from. We raised 4 children, and we are expecting our 10th grandchild in January. We both cherish family, faith, and hard work. I started at the Senior Center as the dessert cook when we were temporarily operating out of the Public Works building, waiting for our current building to be ready to move into. I then became the activities director, which is when I found my deep love for the seniors and their well-being. When Mary Merrill retired, Marion asked me to be the secretary so I could learn the inner workings of all of it. When Marion retired, I applied for and was appointed to the director position. I still absolutely love working with and providing for the seniors of this great valley. So that's a little bit about Jenny, and then I got a couple questions that she's answered just so we can get a deeper knowledge of who Jenny is and what these seniors are in for. So, what do you do in your spare time? She says, I enjoy sewing and designing quilts. I love working with less popular fabrics like denim and especially polyester when I can find it. It's a wonderful feeling to gift someone a quilt that you know will keep them warm for years to come. What has been her favorite project while working at Tree Mountain City? She says she's enjoyed cleaning and fixing up the senior center, making it more usable for the seniors and more manageable and cohesive for her coworkers. And I was just there today, and she's always got some sort of project going on at the senior center. The floors are ripped out completely, and it's all the concrete floor right now. So waiting for the
Thank you,
cen-
thank you.
waiting for the center to close, and they'll get some good flooring for wheelchairs and to clean up messes as well. So, and then what is a fun fact about Jenny? She's a bit of a thrill seeker. She has been bungee jumping and skydiving. She says, I'm also a water lover. As a teenager, I spent many afternoons cliff jumping and playing in the canal and the Bear River. I was a lifeguard for 4 summers at Belmont Springs and now hold season passes to Crystal Hot Springs, where her husband Alan and her love to spend their winter nights soaking in the hot springs. So, thank you, Jenny.
Yep. Thank you.
And then Jenny's going to stay up here because she has an employee that she'll recommend.
Can I just make a comment about Jenny?
Sure.
As we went around and visited with the different cities, our neighboring cities, talking to them about their support of the senior center and trying to educate those different cities. Jenny was just so good to come and help us with answering questions, and you could tell that she had a love for what she does. And so thank you, Jenny, for all that you do, because it's obvious that you really love what you do, and that makes all the difference in the world when you do that.
Yeah.
So thank you.
All right, I have Laura Lee. Come on up here, Laura Lee. And while she's coming up, I'm going to show you, Laura Lee was a school teacher in her profession in her younger years. So, yeah, we get this little thing on the computer to write our bio, and she had to give me this. So, you can tell she was a school teacher.
And it's in cursive, so you know how to read.
Yeah, and it's in cursive, and I can read it, so we're both doing good. All right, Laura Lee, so I picked out a few highlights to show you. You didn't ramble, but I'm going to skip through. She received her BS from BYU. I've always wanted to say that, BS from BYU. 9 years later, she started teaching at Snowville Elementary and taught there for 4 years when she moved into North Park. She also received her master's degree from Utah State in 2003. And at the same time, her youngest daughter, Tracy, also graduated from Utah State, but she wasn't able to attend graduation because she was on her mission. And then Laura Lee's favorite trip, or one of her most memorable trips, was going to St. Petersburg, Russia, to pick up her daughter from her mission. So, and then on the questions, she said she loves where she works, she loves her job, the people she works with, and the people she delivers meals to. She is one of our Meals on Wheels drivers, which I did not say. In her spare time, she also loves to sew. She does a lot of quilts. She does Afghans for every baby that's ever born. Each one of my grandkids has an Afghan from Laura Lee. Well, maybe not a few of the older ones, but a lot of them. She's an amazing seamstress. And she does way more complicated quilts than I will take on. She can follow a pattern. I just make them up. She says, what's the first thing you would buy if you won the lottery? And she says, I would buy me a new car, then hopefully get something for each of my children. And places she's lived, McCammon, Idaho, South Ogden, Pleasant View, Utah, Inglewood, Colorado, Granger, West Valley, and finally, now she lives in Garland. So that is Laura Lee, and she has 10 years of service under her belt for Tree Mountain City, and we appreciate her. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys. We're going to have an update from the Box Elder Chamber of Commerce. Monica, why don't you take some time?
Okay, I was like, can I take a chair? Will it work? I was gonna say, we're testing it. Yep. This is funny. I'm like, this is weird to me. Anyway, okay, so I'm just doing a yearly, like, it's been a few years since I came and just talked about what the chamber's doing. A couple of statistics. We have 77 chamber members in the, I'm gonna get it wrong, north end of the valley of the county right now. And just a reminder that we do have the lowest membership dues in the whole state of Utah. That is because we run Peach Days, which is the main fundraiser for the Chamber of Commerce. So just, that's a little bit of just information. Some things we're working on for the upcoming year. We will have a legislative preview breakfast here in Tremonton in January, where we'll invite Senator Sandel, Representative Peterson, and Representative Gwynn on January 11th, which I saw you have another legislative preview that later that day with everyone, but we have just our local legislators coming. It will most likely be held at the Hampton Inn, and we'll just have them give us an update on what their priorities are as well as what our priorities are. We will, in February and March, be down at the legislature quite a bit. We meet every Wednesday morning down there with our Northern Utah partners. So we actually work with all the chambers north of Salt Lake. So Davis, Ogden Weber, Morgan, us, Cash, and Rich all work together on priorities for the business community. We are currently looking at working with Jessica Tanner to try and video all of our educational events and then make them available on YouTube afterwards. We haven't figured out all the exact thing on that one, but we're working on it. We'll have our Box Elder Business Summit in March. That will be in Brigham City. It's at USU Brigham. That is the one you should come to because we usually try to get Mayor Holmgren to make some ribs. And if he doesn't, people are very sad. So we are hoping to focus on workforce issues because that is our business's number one concern is recruiting and retaining employees. Me and the mayor were talking a few weeks ago and your unemployment rate here in Tremont is
Paquito.
yeah, very, very, very small. I've never heard of one lower. And so that will be in March. It's like a half a day thing. And then we end with the Taste of Box Elder, where like all these different restaurants come in and do samples. So like the Grill has come in and done a sandwich and soup, and then we have Iron Gate there and just all the Crumble cookies, all kinds of different restaurants there. And the highlight is Mayor Holmgren's ribs. So it's a good lunch. We do a career day for the high schools. These are going to be in April. April 9th will be Bear River High Schools. April 16th will be Box Elder High Schools. Last year, we were able to give away $3,500 in scholarships to both schools. That ended up being five kids won scholarships at the high school. And they were sophomores through seniors. So we allowed them, if they needed to pay for something at the high school, like a high school trip, they could use that scholarship money or for secondary education. And we've already secured some sponsors there. The county's a big partner there. So we will be able to do that again. The great thing about this is this year, the school teachers, ones over CTE, called me and asked me for the dates instead of me having to like call them. So we've already got it on the calendar. Everyone's really excited. We do have agricultural represented this year in one of the rooms. Boyd Bingham is going to do it, and he says he's going to get some helpers. So being maybe expecting a call. Our annual banquet will be in April, and that will be held here in Tremonton at the fairgrounds. Just an FYI, last year there was a little bit of a mix up with our small business because we went and awarded our small business of the year, and she was a local business here that already had an event that she could not get out of, and it was a large sale for her. So this year's small business will be Bow Cuts Floral and Gift. We're not even going to get nominations for it. We will be accepting nominations. It's in April, so we'll be doing that probably February. So please nominate. We have Total Citizen of the Year, Business of the Year, We already have small, home-based business of the year, medium business of the year, and large business of the year. And the more nominations we get, the better. So if you guys have a business, you guys know them best, we would love for you to nominate. We are going to, in May, do a home-based and small business conference. That will be here in Tremonton as well at the fairgrounds. This is really concentrated on the small and very small businesses. The great thing about this one is we do it in conjunction with the Cache Chamber of Commerce. And so we invite their small businesses to come over. Last year was our first year and we had about 75 attendees. Don't know any speakers yet, but it will be business topics. We'll do 2 educational events just for the chamber members. One in September will be in Tremonton, one in November will be in Brigham City. We have our golf tournament, other events. We'll do a Meet the Candidates event for the county elections. We hope to have that expanded a little bit. And do it maybe in the evening and partner with the Rotary and Kiwanis clubs for the county since it's a countywide election. Tremonton's Trick or Treat on Main Street is planned for next year as well. This year, we had great sponsors. We were able to give out trick or treat bags to the kids that didn't have any, and our sponsors' logos were on there. And we had a great turnout again. We appreciate the support of the city as well as the police department for helping us keep the kids safe for that because there are a lot of kids. And then the light parade I was at on Saturday night, Christy Kent and I were the ones who got to help with the light parade. And yes, we only had 4 entries, but they were amazing. And we got to give out awards. And so that was a lot of fun.
We had more entries, they just didn't show.
They just didn't, because it was a blizzard. It was a blizzard. One thing the chamber has done, we received a grant from a national organization that works with chambers of commerce. And with that grant, the goal is to get rural workers highly skilled and so they can get better, higher paying jobs. And so some of the grant money went to an economic dashboard. This is an overview of our county, not necessarily deep down demographics that you can get on jobs.utah.gov, which is awesome. You can deep dive there. But if you click here on economic information on our website, and this is available to everyone, we just have our map and a description. Now, this is our population. Now, they pulled it by zip code. So anyone with the zip code 84337 is in this population total, okay? Because Brigham City and Tremonton people both went, that is not ours. That is not how many population we have. But when you add in those, like for Brigham City, it's Brigham City and Perry. So here it's anyone with the 84337 zip code. And then again, the whole population. Then we have jobs. And again, that is for those zip codes. When we decided to do the dashboard, part of it is just county-based, and then there were sections where we said we need Brigham City and Tremonton because they're the major metropolitan areas in our county. So demographics, population trend forecast. Don't ask me because they get these numbers and then they put them on the dashboard for me. So they use Lightcast, Zillow, U.S. Census Bureau, and they have a place down below that tells us where their sites are. This gets automatically updated every 30 days. So if there's a change in any of these numbers, which I'll show you below, it will automatically get updated.
Quick thing on that one. That
Yep.
one's zip codes too, though.
This is zip code, yeah. Anytime they pulled out Brigham and Tremonton, it is the zip code, yep. So again, this is even the population cohort. So this will show you the age of our population, which actually surprised me when I first saw these numbers. I thought we were a little bit older of a population, but you will see that 25 to 44 is our biggest. When you add those two together, they're pretty big compared to the rest of those groups. But it definitely can be used for businesses as well as cities and government entities to look at where our population is going and what to anticipate for customers and citizens in the future. And then this is our industry characteristics. Now we're flipping to just Box Elder County. So no big surprise, manufacturing is number one. And then it says average earnings per worker, so that's the high end and the very low end all added together to make an average. And it shows the percentage of job growth from in the last 5 years, which lends to the employment problem we have, is we just our businesses are just creating more jobs and expanding. We see that in almost every business. Government is the second, and I had a government employee official say, Monica, what is up with that? And we're pretty sure that's school district, because they're one of the largest employers in the county. So that's why it's not necessarily Tremont City or Box Elder County, it's that the school district. So you can just scroll through here and look at them at your convenience. But this, like I said, not only do we think this will help the cities, but also the businesses. This one was really interesting to me. It's job postings, so not job hires, it's job postings. So they're probably looking at like Indeed and Workforce Services. But you can see we definitely hire usually more in the summertime, which doesn't really surprise many of us in Box Elder County. But it's kind of an interesting thing. Now, this one is very misleading. So this is in the last 30 days unique job postings. So you'll see Northrop may have gone down 7% here, but they had 164 unique job postings in the last month. That's how many people they're trying to hire right now. Okay, so you'll see, oh, wow, who went really down? Love's went really down, but that's only in the last 30 days. So that might mean that Love's already hired who they needed to. So it's just pulling that data. Construction went down, and that was the first month it was down. And I was like, well, that's because construction is going into winter. Of course, they're not going to be hiring more additional people. But again, this redoes every 30 days. So if you ever want to look and say, okay, who's posting a lot of jobs right now? And like I said, West Liberty Foods might have been really high last month. And so this month, there's just a percentage of change, but they're still hiring. They're still looking for employees. Employment distribution by sizes. So we can see that Box Elder County is definitely made up of the small businesses. So when we try to do services for them, they are the 43% of who we want to serve for the business community. And then over here is just the annual wage ranges by occupation. Okay, Connie, you're gonna love this one. You'll be a little upset about this one, but this is our educational attainment in Box Elder County. So currently in Box Elder County, out of our population, 18.2% have bachelor's degrees, which is fairly low. And then you look at the 27% of the some college, which doesn't surprise you, I'm sure. High school diploma, only 32%. But if you go over here, this is the job postings, what they're requiring. So 18% have a bachelor's degree, and 23% of our businesses are looking for someone with a bachelor's degree. High school or GED, 17%, that's what you have to be able to get that job. So when I look at the grant that I'm trying to do, I have a tough time because we have high-paying jobs for someone just getting out of high school. We have great opportunities for those individuals and stuff. So I keep telling my cohorts that are all over the nation that they don't understand the county I live in and how hard this is going to be. But yeah, so this again updates. The top skills companies are looking for, this one cracks me up, it hasn't changed in the last 30 days, is housekeeping. I was like, huh. But if you think about it, everybody, yeah, all the businesses need one. Manufacturing processes, supply chain, none of this should surprise any of us. Now, this is my favorite. Lyle got to hear about this one. Oh, wait, my second favorite. Okay, this one's home values. So Brigham and Tremont are right here. And then this upper line's Perry. So just know that's the housing affordability. But you can definitely see that our housing affordability has definitely skyrocketed in the last, what is
Where's
this,
that
by
peak
quarter?
at? What is it?
That peak is June 30th, 2022 for Tremont, and it's 393,000. So, yeah, the home value, that's what it is. But even then, like if you look now, the end of September, they're so close together that it's collecting both, but probably 382,000. So it's only gone down a little bit. So. This is my favorite one. This is commuting patterns in and out of Box Elder County. The other day, they had this messed up, so I'm really glad they got it fixed before I came here. Somehow they had the whole state. Weber County, so 3,200 people drive in from Weber County to Box Elder County to work. However, we have 5,370 driving out of Box Elder County to go work in Weber County, which probably is Hillfield, Davis, and between Davis and Weber. So we lose 2,110 of our workers to outside of our county. And you can see the only gain we get is with Cache County, which again is no surprise. It's why SR 30 is so important to this county. Because we have a ton of workers coming over from Cache County because their median wage is very low compared to Box Elders. So they drive over here for work. But we need to reverse this trend. I can't believe this. 4,700 people leave Box Elder to go work at Salt Lake. In Salt Lake County, I'm really hoping they're doing work-at-home jobs because I would hate that commute every day. Davis County, and then Utah County, and they're just pulling the top 5. So this is a huge opportunity for our businesses. I hope, I'm working on this plan in my head, that we can come together and do a campaign of work where you live. Instead of live where you work where you live. You already have a home. You're already living there. If we can get them to work here, because we have the jobs, we have a lot of jobs. We have a lot of, great jobs, high-paying jobs that are leaving right now, and we could use those workers. And like, live local, save gas. Live local, save money. Live local, save time. Those are like key things that I hope the business community can come together and we can really start marketing and telling people, let's change this, because that way they, growth is going to happen. We saw the population trend forecast. It's going to happen. But this way, these are people who are already living here and already leaving. And some of them may not have a choice, but it's kind of an amazing, I've heard the data. I've never seen the data. And so when I saw it, I was pretty shocked and going, oh my gosh, we have to do something. So it was actually driving home from Tremont, and I was like, work where you live instead. And
Is there a summary for that, the out-migration, or the outbound workers?
no.
Do you have a summary somewhere?
No.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, so I have been asked by my board, I haven't been able to do it yet, of backing and looking at Davis County's numbers and Weber County's numbers, but I have to figure out how to do it and stuff, but I haven't done it yet, but yeah. But this is a free resource for Tremonton and anyone else who wants to use it, and like I said, it's about every 30 days it updates. We will have this for at least 2 years. It's being paid for by the grant, and I budgeted it for the 2 years of the grant, and then we'll see. But I think the business community is going to really like it. It's kind of that overview of, hey, here's what's happening in our county, and we can watch those changes and see. So that's what I'm very passionate about my dashboard. I'm very excited about it. So any questions? I kind of just went over really fast what the chamber's been up to and serving. Yes.
Monica, I have a question for you,
Yes.
or maybe just a comment. Maybe you could help us with this. Obviously, you know that we have Lakeshore Distribution coming. It's an
Yes.
88 acres of a distribution center that is just north of here.
Yep.
And 500 employees
Yeah, my mouth dropped open.
in less than a year?
In-
In less than a year?
Yeah.
That's going to change this, I would guess.
It's going to
Quite a
make it
bit.
even harder, yeah.
Yep.
I've seen both sides, being here 23 years and been with Lyle almost that time. But I remember sitting in a meeting when Procter & Gamble was announced. And I had a business owner sitting next to me, and they said, oh my gosh, what are you guys thinking? What are you thinking? And then the 2009, 2010 recession hit, and there was so many open jobs when Procter & Gamble actually opened in 2012. We had people driving from Arizona to apply for Procter & Gamble and stuff. So you never know. However, saying that, I don't think it's going to happen this time. I think that they will have a really hard time getting employees. People tend to go where it's new, but they will be leaving another business in Box Elder County to work at Lakeshore. So it's going to make a hole somewhere else because we just don't have the people to fill those jobs. So Steve's and Sons in Brigham City is a great example. They say they're pretty well fully staffed, but they only needed a little over 100 employees. But those people had a job somewhere else. So they're leaving either a small business or they're leaving another manufacturer, and they're going, It happens at Northrop, you know, if you go to Northrop, you've left Autoleaf, or you've left West Liberty Foods, or whichever manufacturer it is and stuff, so it will leave a hole somewhere else. And when you guys said that 500 number, my mouth dropped open. I think it's, and there's potential for more growth in other areas of the county that might be announced. So I'm like, you know, just Nucor alone, they're opening TrueCore, and yeah, so.
The most recent demographic charts that I have show unemployment in Tremont, and they have Tremont and Box Elder County and
Yeah.
the state of Utah. Now, this is a little bit dated.
But it's, yeah,
But it's probably for purpose of, you know.
yep, yeah,
Goes along with what we're talking about here right now. Well, this, in the report that we have here, we're at 0.7 unemployment.
for Tremont.
So for Tremont, and that's almost, it's
It's
like-
very unhealthy.
It's very unhealthy.
5% unemployment is actually like normal, and then you don't really want to get under 5% of unemployment, because then you don't have the workers for those jobs, and we are way past that. So, in all industries, I mean,
Well, this-
there's lots.
This has been a great presentation. We
Well, thank you.
appreciate you taking time and sharing
No
this with us.
problem.
Got a lot of work to do. So anyway, thank you so much.
No problem.
Monica.
If you guys have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Mark knows how to get a hold of me.
Yep.
And
We-
Sean. But yeah,
got your-
we are here, like I said, want to help the businesses in any way we can. Like I said, out of our chamber membership is about 370 all over the state. We have some outside of the county, but majority of them are here and stuff. So we appreciate your guys' support and just want to be a part.
We
and
appreciate you too. So
Great.
thank you so
Thanks
much
for
for
all you
taking
do.
time,
Thank
taking time with
Thank
us
you.
today. That was a great report. Thank you. Okay. All right. Next, we have our public comment period. Support, pardon me?
Support.
Did I miss something?
Celery Family Support Center.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. Hold on to your comments for just a minute longer. Let's see, we have a report from the Box Elder Family Support Center. And I apologize, I just kind of jumped right past you there. I apologize.
We actually brought you guys some gifts too.
Oh, there we go.
So, I don't know if they were supposed to give me the mic, but somehow I got the mic tonight. So, this is Megan Nelson, and I'm Shay Monk. I'm on the board for the Box Elder Family Support Center. And we are, well, first of all, are all of you aware of what the Family Support Center does?
Why don't you just give us a quick rundown of what you guys are all about?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, the support center is a place where, like, single moms with kids, families that have been through abusive relationships can go. The center, the location that we have up here is over in Garland. It's the old seminary building. And then, we have another center down in Brigham City. So it gives a lot of opportunity to, like single mothers that need some place to go to, or if they have errands to run, that they can leave their kids there for a second. It's a free service. So it's a great opportunity for the community. It really helps support families that are maybe in a tougher situation or just need a little bit more freedom. But anyway, the center's actually going through kind of an issue right now where the board that manages all the centers for all the different counties has pulled the funding for Box Elder because they wanted to direct it and more of those funds going into Weber and Rich counties. So it's created a huge issue for the center up here in Garland. To the point where if something doesn't happen, the center would probably have to close in February. So Scott Sandel is involved with the situation. He's aware of it. And he's applying pressure to the board members to kind of build a resolution on the issue that's being created. We're here tonight asking for the city council's help, assistance, anything that that the city could do to assist us in keeping the center open up here in Garland. Most specifically, just because it does benefit this community substantially. But yeah.
Do you have some anecdotal, I mean, how's this making an impact on this valley?
Like specific numbers?
Yeah, maybe an example or
Yeah.
one or two.
I don't know if you want to share an example?
Well, so I'm not on the board with these guys, but I am somebody who uses their service. And I'm not a single mom, but I am a mom of 3 kids, and my husband is constantly working, and he has a job over at Hill Air Force Base. And it's very hard because he has to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and he doesn't get home till around 4:30 at night. So he has to go to bed right away. And I also work from home. And so I wrote out a whole thing on why the Family Support Center is important to me and my family, that when I have to work, and I work from home, I have a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, and an 8-year-old. And I'm sure that most of you guys have kids, and you guys know that raising them and having them be at home while you're trying to work can be very, very hard. And these guys have given me the support that I need when my 2 oldest are at school and my youngest only goes to preschool 2 days a week, and I have to work in my back office. It makes me feel safer knowing that my son has a place to go a couple times a week for a few hours, knowing that he's taken care of and he's watched after, and that it's with people that I trust. It's with people that I would trust with my own life. And if this center closes, it's not only going to affect families like me, but families alike that are like me that rely on this place. And if they're going to just open up a place in Perry or more down south, what is going to happen to families that live out here? What about us that are in Tremont and Garland or Riverside and, or Corinne even? And it's, before the pandemic, this center was cram-packed full. I mean, it took a lot. It took weeks for me to be able to get my kids in, to be able to tell them, I have to get my son in, I have an appointment this day, or I have this to do or that to do. And, can you guys watch my kids for a few hours while I go to a doctor's appointment so my kids aren't running amok through Dr. Walker's office, even though he loves them. But it can be very, very hard, and it's frustrating to try to keep track of all 3 of my kids while I'm trying to focus on one child who's sick. And these guys have helped me out even when I have to go grocery shopping or anything like that. And this support center it means the world to a lot of people. After the pandemic, it kind of got swept under the rug because a lot of people forgot about this place because, everybody had to stay inside and you couldn't come out. You couldn't, you had to be 6 feet away. And so when it came down to it, it was really, really hard to keep this place going and to have it keep its doors open right now. And it's, I just put a post out there recently on multiple social media platforms, and a lot of people were telling me I had no idea that this place even existed. And now they are telling me I'm going to use these guys, and I have people reaching out to me thanking me that they're going to use these guys. I have people reaching out to me saying, I remember these guys from years ago, and they were amazing, and they still are. My kids get so excited when they see Stacy and Callie. They run up to Stacy and give her the biggest hug. They run up to Callie and they're like, Callie! And they laugh and they're full of joy there. And it gives me peace of mind knowing that my kids are safe, that when I have to hurry and run really fast, my son wakes up, between, oh Lord, 4 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock in the morning, and I work at 7:30 in the morning till 4:30 at night, or 4:30 in the afternoon. And for me to be able to take my kids there for even 3-4 hours, I can get my job done. I can focus on the people that I'm trying to work with. And I think that these guys deserve the funding to keep it open.
That was very nice. Thank you for that report.
Shay, how much do you need? What are we asking?
I don't know if we're asking for like a direct number right now. I think more than anything, if that pressure can continue to be applied to Scott Sandel and.
So can we talk to Scott and?
Yeah, he's very aware of what's going on.
Sort of asking here is that we express to Scott the importance
Yeah.
Okay, Shay, that's kind of what we needed to know.
Yeah.
at this
I mean,
time.
if there is any funds that can be directed towards the
Well,
center.
yeah,
more
we can talk.
yeah.
We can talk about that, but
Yeah.
right now, we can certainly help you in that realm, so. And then we help,
That just makes my heart warm because, I mean, my kids would be just devastated. And so I really appreciate you guys hearing
how many
this.
people use this service?
So last year they served 290 children, 72 families, and more than thousands of hours of service. So yeah.
Okay.
I also want to mention that this place also offers shelter to kids who are coming from DCFS that are being removed from homes. They offer a safe place for these kids to stay the night and being watched over. And so that's also important because obviously child abuse in this country is high. And there's so many reports. I mean, if we can continue to just keep that funding open for these guys.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And we can let you, if you want to,
Add to that.
oh,
We do shelter, so when we're DCFS, we work with them. So when they remove a child, they come to our center in Brigham and they stay with us there. And we take care of them until they find them a foster home.
Oh, I
So that
see.
is one of the other things that we do besides parenting. We have a therapist there. We go in-home. We have a lady that will go in-home and help with whatever parenting you need or supervising and stuff. So we also do that along with shelter
okay.
and then crisis breaks, so.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Okay. Next, we have our public comment period. What we'd ask is that you keep your comments concise and try to limit them to 3 minutes. And the time is now yours for public comments.
Christy Boca. I'm just going to say something really quick about the center. I'm involved with the Women's Civic Club, and every other month we try and collect treats. They're supposed to be healthy, but I don't think my Cheetos were last month. Just to help them out any way we can in Women's Civic Club. And so that's been kind of fun for us to get involved that way. And we try and help them with crafts and things like that through the Women's Civic Club. And so, man, I'd hate to see that place go. I worked in the schools long enough to know that that's a very important place. Okay, first I'd like to thank West Step for responsible snow plowing in neighborhoods. I get in a zone when I blow my snow, Wes, and I went over and I helped a neighbor, a widowed lady, and she says, I so appreciate him. He didn't know it was you, but I knew it was you because you honked at me. Keeping the plow up out of the rock chips. And she says it was so nice because we knew that would be a problem. And she goes, he was and he says, and he didn't speed. And you didn't. Very respectable speed. Now on Saturday was a totally different subject. They come whipping through there. I'll bet they were doing 35, 40 miles an hour. Those blades were hitting that rock chip and throwing rocks up on lawns, filled sidewalks. I had them halfway up my driveway. People's outfits were pelted with rock chips. I'm not blaming you, Wes. I just know you drive the snowplow. I had other people from 2 other neighborhoods that contacted me and says, what the heck? My car was pelted with rocks. One lady said she had a dent in her garage door. And it's really, those rocks are like BBs being shot out of a BB gun. They hurt. One guy took off running for his life because he thought he was going to get knocked over. Just something to be aware of, especially on those rock-chipped roads. They're just, and I do appreciate you not running your blade down in, and it is a cost, an extra cost for your blades. It wears them out really, really fast. I own a business. I run a business. I am in charge of employees. I take care of expenses and payout. I am responsible for every single penny that is spent. I have to be accountable for that. I do believe Tremont City has a budgeting problem and an excessive spending problem that I'm hoping with the new council members coming in, they will be more like, I want to call you Brother Rhodey, and I can't because it's the wrong hat. You know who I'm talking about, Brett. I read your name. ask questions, question why we're spending. It's like the branding of Tremont, and why couldn't we put that out for residents to be involved in and come up with an idea? That would have been much better than paying a firm $50,000, get people involved. I think that's a great thing to do, and I think we need to be considerate in getting others involved in what's going on in the city rather than just being so quick to hire a firm and pay out hundreds and thousands of dollars. $50,000, you could have let a resident get involved and they would have loved it. So just be a little bit considerate about that when you're doing your things.
Thanks, Christie.
I cannot tell a lie. I didn't plow this week. It wasn't me, but whoever it was, I will tell them that you appreciate them. I missed out on that plowing, Christie.
My head down and just doing my job, and I thought, oh, that's Wes. So, sorry, Wes, but you got the credit.
You're good.
I told everybody it was you, so here. You got the credit, bud.
Okay, public comment period is closed. The canvass of the 2023 general election, we clearly just got through with with an election here in Tremont City, and what we're going to do is have Lindsay give us a report on the final numbers.
Anyway, 4,700 registered voters in Tremont City. Only 1,428 ballots were cast, so that's a percentage of 30.38 that voted.
Incidentally, I think that was the lowest in the county.
Oh, was it?
Lowest percentage
How
county.
does that compare to other years for
I was
us?
gonna say it feels
I don't know, that's
similar. I think.
That's about what it was 2 years ago, I think.
about similar, yeah.
There were two, it looks like ballots that were postmarked on time. They were received after November 1st, but they were postmarked timely, so they were counted. There was also 8 ballots that were not counted because they were postmarked after the date of November 21st. 2 voted provisional ballots. Counted and one, was not counted, so 2 counted, 1 not counted. Let's see. So total votes, you can see there, Sarah at 511, RJ Henry 245, Jeff 710, Blair 828, Connie 650, and Lyle 694. There were 3 overvotes, meaning somebody voted for 4 or 5 or 6. So those don't get counted, as I understand. They wouldn't know which 3 to count. Undervotes, there were 643 of those, which is fine. It just means somebody only voted for 1 or 2 people. And those votes still count. You don't have to vote for 3. You can vote for up to 3, so. And then this just breaks it down per precinct, so like Tremont and 1. These are all in our packet. If anyone's curious on our website, you can go look at the different precinct breakouts 1 through 6, so.
All right, Lindsay, thank you. Council, do we have any questions for Lindsay? All right.
I do need a motion to accept.
Oh, okay, I would entertain a motion to accept the canvass of the 2023 general election for Tremont City.
I'll make a motion. We accept the canvass of the 2023 election.
Motion by Wes,
I'll second.
second by Rick. All in favor?
Aye.
The numbers stick. All right. Thanks, Lindsay. Let's move on to our policy session. New council business. Discussion and consideration of approving the October financial statements. And incidentally, for those of you that we might move through this a little bit faster this evening because we've already discussed it quite length each of these items. So anyway, the financial statements.
I'll make a motion that we accept the October financial statements as listed.
Motion by Connie and second by
I'll second it.
Lyle Vance. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Discussion and consideration of approving the October warrant register. The warrant register is just a list of all of the expenses, the checks that went out we review.
I'll make a motion, we approve the October warrant register.
I'll second it.
Motion by Wes and seconded by Connie. All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion and consideration of adopting the Tremont City Council annual meeting schedule for the year of 2024. We just we've got a list of all of each of the council meetings each month for the year of 2024. Council, are we okay with that?
I'll make a motion, we adopt the Tremont annual meeting schedule.
Motion
I'll
by
second it.
Lyle, second by Brett.
Need
All in favor?
Aye.
Date change on that.
No, I think it was right here.
It was in the,
Oh, I was on the calendar wrong. Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Item number D, discussion and consideration of adopting ordinance number 23-09, creating an accessory dwelling unit regulations by adopting Chapter 1.21 accessory dwelling units and amending Chapter 1.07 residential zone districts and Chapter 1.03 definitions of the Tremont City Land Use Code. We went through this a little bit earlier this evening with Sam Taylor, who has been working with us and working with the Planning Commission on this. Any questions on any of this?
I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Do you anything to add to that, Mark? Not that it's going to be interesting, but
Having worked on the planning commission and kind of going through this process, I think it's a good thing for the city. It does offer options for people and also offers people opportunities to increase their income if they would like to, if it's, obviously these are on their property. So I'll make a motion that we adopt ordinance number 23-09.
motion by Connie. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded.
Connie's for it, I know it's a good thing.
Okay. Second by, yeah, you bet.
Connie, on your planning commission, how did they vote on this? Were they unanimous in their vote? Was
They
there a lot
were.
of debate on it?
They were unanimous.
Thank you.
There's 5 people on the planning commission. Those of you that haven't been there before, there are 5 people that represent us on that planning commission, and they all voted unanimously to accept this. So,
Okay, we have a motion by Wes and second by Connie. No, the other way around. Connie made the motion, Wes has seconded it. Let's see, Rick?
Rick, aye.
Brett, aye.
Lyle Vance, aye.
Connie Archibald, aye.
West Eye.
Motion passes, thank you. Item number E, discussion and consideration of adopting ordinance number 23-10, amending provisions from Title III, City Government, Part 3-1025, powers and duties of the manager of the revised ordinances of Tremont City Corporation, modifying the manager's duty to appoint persons to city offices with advice and consent of the city council. Mark, why don't you just give us a quick rundown of why we're doing this?
Yeah, this includes a multitude of jobs, which are typically department head level jobs that are appointed by the city council. And as we've been recruiting for the city planner, we feel it best that the city planner is not an appointed position, but more a hourly position. So it would just scratch the city planner from appointment with the
As a
advice and
director.
consent. Yeah.
Manager, yeah.
And we did go through this to quite some extent a little bit earlier, so council, do we have any other questions for Mark?
So this 3-1025 is the current policy,
Correct.
correct? And we just scratched out the one item.
Yep. It's amending the current policy or ordinance.
I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution,
Ordinance.
ordinance number 2310 as it's been
I'll
outlined.
second it.
Motion by Brett, seconded by Lyle Vance. Brett?
Brett, aye.
Lyle Vance, aye.
Connie Archibald, aye.
West Eye.
Rick, aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Item number F, discussion and consideration of adopting resolution number 23-70, requesting the recertification of the Tremont City Justice Court from the Justice Court Standards Committee and the Utah Judicial Council. We had Judge Christensen here a little bit earlier this evening, and every 4 years, we need to go through this process of recertifying the Justice Court. Do we have any other questions for?
One thing I learned by the state code of Utah, a judge has to sit
6 inches higher
than the thing, and you
That's why
have
we
to
got that
have
flag right
the new
there.
flag to have a judicial
We learned that
court.
today. So,
And a gavel. Yep.
State flag?
Yeah, it's the new state.
that's the new state flag right there.
Before you can have a legal court.
Yep.
Or they would shut us down if we didn't have those things.
Wow.
I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution number 23-70.
I'll second it.
Motion by Lyle Vance and seconded by Connie. Let's see, Lyle.
Lyle Vance, aye.
Connie Archibald, aye.
West side.
Rick, aye.
Brett, aye.
Discussion and consideration of adopting resolution number 23-71, ratifying. Now, these next three are just ratifications of these subdivisions have already been recorded for record-keeping purposes. We're ratifying the decisions. So resolution number 23-71, ratifying the Harvest Village Phase 1 subdivision development agreement. And we did go through this to quite,
Any reason why we couldn't ratify all three of them?
I don't know. I can,
Just for the,
I think we have to do it one at a time.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Brett.
Mayor, I'll proceed then. I'll adopt this evening resolution number 23-71, ratifying the Harvest Village Phase 1 in my neighborhood.
All right. Motion by Connie,
I'll second.
seconded by Brett and Lyle. Let's see, Connie?
Connie Archibald, aye.
West side.
Rick, aye.
Brett, aye.
Lyle Vance, aye.
Okay, discussion and consideration of adopting resolution number 23-72, ratifying the River Valley Phase 8 subdivision development agreement. Council?
I'll make a motion.
No, that's the one out there behind McDonald's that,
Yeah,
that road to nowhere.
On
by
BR
the
Mountain
things,
Road,
Just so
uh-huh.
everybody else knows where they are.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we adopt resolution 23-72.
Motion by Wes,
I'll second it.
second by Connie. All in, let's see, no, Wes?
West side.
Rick, aye.
Brett, aye.
Lyle Vance, aye.
Connie Archibald, aye.
Okay, discussion and consideration of adopting resolution number 23-73, ratifying the Homes at Tremont and Homes Site Plan Development Agreement.
This one's across the road from IFA, right?
Yeah.
Directly east.
The very north one. The south one.
There's
is
two
not-
of them. There, it'll be the north.
It's the
part.
north one that
North.
they've started.
I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution number 23-73, ratifying the homes at Tremont and Townhomes.
Motion by Lyle Vance,
I'll second it.
second by Wes.
Going.
Let's see, back to Rick.
Rick, aye.
Before I say aye, I think it's important to note that we're adopting a resolution that we've been ratified or noticed. We're not agreeing or disagreeing on what goes in there or anything like that. This is just telling us that this is what's being done with the zone that was already predetermined.
yeah.
So I don't want people coming back and saying, well,
Just breeze through them, huh?
yeah, and so.
Yeah, no, this was-
So that's what we're
these are
doing,
ratifications.
is we're just making notice that we are aware of the ratifications or that these site plans have been submitted. Okay, but Brett, aye.
Lyle Vance, aye.
Connie Archibald, aye.
West side.
Thank you. Thanks for the clarification, Brett. That was very helpful. Discussion and consideration of adopting resolution number 23-74, declaring certain vehicles from the city public works fleet as surplus and authorizing the public works director to dispose of the vehicles. Paul, we went through, maybe you can just kind of show what we're doing here, and
There's 5 vehicles up
they've
there.
been used.
They've been used up, and just it means we have to surplus them before we can actually get rid of them, you know, whether it's scrap or, because it is city property. And we'll probably try to go through a process to get some fool to bid on. Shouldn't say it, but no, I mean, they are not running vehicles. They have been well used and over the years, you know, you'll see some of them 30 years old up there that's been used that long. So,
Ooh, can I do this? I had to drive most of them, so I would make a motion that we adopt resolution 23-74.
I'll second.
Motion by Wes and seconded by Rick. Let's see, Brett, I think it's you.
Brett, aye.
Lyle Vance, aye.
Connie Archibald, aye.
West side.
Rick, aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Discussion and consideration of adopting resolution number 23-75, establishing a separate accounting fund for solid waste disposal. Mark, why don't you just quickly give us, and again, we've gone through this earlier, so this is kind of for all of your benefit here.
Yeah, so the purpose of this would be to extract all of the solid waste operations, financial transactions out of the general fund and create its own fund for accounting purposes, so it's a lot clearer.
Garbage cans.
For garbage cans, garbage pickup, recycling cans, recycle pickup, well, not recycling cans because we don't do that, but if we did, anything that would have to do with solid waste pickup. And it would create a fund in July of 2024 for that fiscal year budget.
Fiscal year. Okay, council?
I'll adopt or make a motion that we adopt resolution number 23-75.
I'll second.
Motion by Connie and seconded by Rick. Let's see, Lyle?
Lyle Vance, aye.
Connie Archibald, aye.
West side.
Rick, aye.
Brett, aye.
Discussion and consideration of adopting resolution number 23-76, amending resolution number 23-29, selecting health insurance carriers and defining the city's contribution for health insurance employee benefits for the 2023 to 2024 fiscal year. Again, Mark, why don't you just give us a brief update, or I'm sorry, Lindsay, do you want to give us an update on this?
So this was just amending medical insurance for our city council members. Who does pay 90%, just if they were city employees, we pay 90% of our full-time employees' health insurance benefits also. This just took into account, we hadn't thought about the, I guess, option of one of our council members having employer-sponsored health insurance. Before, we only had really mentioned Medicare and then the health insurance marketplace as options for insurance for the council. So this just added that third paragraph that if a council member has employer-sponsored health insurance, they're on that the city would help cover 90% of those premiums also.
Okay. Okay, council? Questions on any of that?
Well, nothing has changed. It's just more definitive in the details is what the thing is. I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution number 23-76.
I'll second it.
Motion by Lyle Vance and seconded by Connie. Did you second it? Did I hear you second it? No. Oh. Let's see, Connie?
Connie Archibald, aye.
West side.
Rick, aye.
Brett, aye.
Lyle Vance, aye.
All right, motion passes. That concludes our policy session. Calendar assignment, and previous assignments, and that review of the calendar. We went through this with the council. I don't think I think we went through it in pretty good detail earlier.
One day of January 11th is not city council. That'd be January 16th.
Well, that should be 60. Yeah, of course it would be. Yeah. First one's on the second, second one's on the, okay, that makes good sense. Any other questions about any of the calendar? We do have a get-together on the 21st,
19th.
huh? 19th, am I not even,
It's not on there.
it's not on there,
Yeah,
so
we'll
it's not,
remind you.
it's the 21st, isn't it?
The 19th.
It's
It is the
We're gonna
19th.
be there on the 19th. We'd love to have you there, but
come on the
if you wanna go on the 21st, go ahead, Mayor.
Touche, you got me. All right. All righty. Let's see, is there any, let's see, home-based business, unfinished businesses?
Yeah.
You got the home-based business procedure. There was some questions about that at our last council meeting. I think
Yeah, when we adopted
got
the,
this up, and so I think we've got some,
yeah, when we adopted the fee schedule, we talked about charging home-based businesses for a business license. And Brett wanted to make sure that we had a good procedure in place so that Michelle wasn't the end-all, say-all for who should be charged that business. So I put a procedure down. If you want to review it, feel free, but it goes through everything that's in the code, who we can charge this fee to, and criteria that would allow us to charge that fee and, or allow them to have the fee waived, and all the requirements that go along with it. So I think it's pretty robust. and-
Thank you.
Yep.
How much is that fee?
I want to say that one was,
The base, like $17.60, but one.
the renewal is $17. It's the one-time setup fee, and I think it was like 42 or 46. It was like in the $40 range.
Just set it up and then 17 annual
Every time you
renewal fee?
renew it. Mhm. Yep.
that depends just a little bit on
Type of business. it
the
is.
type of business it is too.
Yeah, most of the home-based businesses will be that, though.
No, okay.
How many small businesses, home businesses do we have that's registered?
Yeah, hundreds.
How many? 400. Oh, wow. I didn't think there'd be that many.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay. Item number C, did you have anything to add to that? I think we can just pass by that. I don't have anything new on that one. Reports and comments, city administration reports. Let's see, Mark, do you have anything for us there?
Yeah, I have an update on our curbside recycling program. We received a letter from EconoWaste, who received the letter from a place called Recycled Earth. And Recycled Earth is where EconoWaste takes the recycling. And it's in Ogden. So when they pick up the recycling cans, they fill up one truck just with recycled material, and they take it to Ogden to this Recycled Earth. And Recycled Earth has to shut down for a couple of months for building improvements. And so we have called around to the other recycling landfill, or the recycling, whatever you call them.
Receiving centers.
Receiving centers in the area, which would be one in Hiram and another one in Davis County. Those are the only other two. And they're not viable options for this recycling for the meantime. And so I just want to make it clear that we don't have a place to take this recycling for the time that they're doing this building improvement upgrade, which they think it will be about a couple of months. And that's when we're going to review and analyze the recycling program since we updated the contract with them. And so for the meantime, what they're going to do, they're still going to haul it separate, but it all will go to the landfill. And so I don't want the perception out there to feel like we're recycling, but then they see the truck going to the landfill. It's just because this building is under renovation, and they won't take our recycling for the meantime. And then in February, when we update the recycling, we'll see where the building's at, if it's gonna be a change at all. But I think it would be too confusing to tell people that their recycling can be a garbage can or, for 2 months, and then it has to change back after
The price
that.
is the same?
Price is the same, yeah. Yeah, and they'll still charge us the same because they're hauling it separately, just so that the whole procedure for them will be the same, and it's just they'll go to the landfill instead of the recycling center, which won't be open
For that window. of
for that little window.
2 or 3
yeah.
months.
Wanted to update the council on that if you heard anything about it.
Okay, anything else on that? Okay. Budget adjustment to purchase a vehicle for the strike force officer. I don't know, Mark?
Yeah, I can give a brief overview of it, and then
The chief can fill us
if I missed
in.
anything, feel free to. So currently, we have a sergeant, and he is full-time in the Box Elder County Strike Force. The Strike Force is going through some changes at the first of the year, organizational structure changes. And we've worked out with the Strike Force that we're going to be pulling that sergeant out, the full-time officer the full-time sergeant out of the Strike Force. And we will still be participating with the Strike Force, but it will be through a 10-hour-a-week detective. And the detective will be working with the Strike Force in our area just for 10 hours a week. With this organizational change, if we wanted to keep the full-time in, we would have to purchase a vehicle. The Strike Force is asking us to purchase a vehicle to be part of the full-time. Well, because we're taking this sergeant out, he currently is driving a Strike Force vehicle. And so he won't have a vehicle to drive as he gets pulled out of the Strike Force. And so we're recommending that we purchase an extra vehicle for him so that he has something to drive after this organizational change with the Strike Force. And the budget savings that we see that we could pay for it is within the police department itself. As you all are aware, they were allotted 5 new officer positions at the budget year change, and 4 of those have been filled, but 1 of them has not been filled yet, as we're still recruiting for that final officer position. And so we would move money from the salary benefit line down to a capital vehicle purchase line. And so we won't have to change the budget. We're not increasing their budget. We're just using those savings to purchase this vehicle.
Yeah, and actually Wes brought up a good point. On top of that, we will see a decrease in our overall salary budget because we're starting to build the Department of Justice for that full-time employee position that they're funding through the grant. So we actually will end up coming pretty well under budget if all goes as planned through the DOJ. So we've allocated, by keeping that allocation empty for the last 6 months, enough to fund that vehicle. In addition, one of our full-time employees that we pay for, that will be reimbursed through the Department of Justice grant. So we should be good. The last thing I want to do is ask for more, since you guys have helped so much, which I appreciate. And this is just a way for us to internally fund that. That way it doesn't hit the city budget or, put you in that position.
Good.
How much for a car?
That's a great question. So for the trucks, they're anywhere, what was Skylar, 50?
About 50,000.
Yeah, but we're actually looking at possibly an SUV for this, which would be, do you remember the number? 35. So we're looking at our options. There's also a supply and demand issue with vehicles, especially if we try to shop local. But Skylar's been kind of doing a great job managing our fleet, and he has a couple lined up. But right now, we're looking at the cheaper option.
And it costs extra money to put lights on and.
Yes, sir.
Fairly reasonable, though.
Yeah,
It
so.
told me that what yours and Brian's truck was
Yeah, so there's different options. There's what they would call an admin package, which would be essentially for a detective or an administrator. You got your lights and your radio and stuff, but it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that patrol needs, like, spotlights, takedown lights, things of that nature. It's substantially cheaper. And that's kind of what we need for this position anyway. He's essentially going to oversee our investigative unit. The benefit of keeping in the strike force, and I've already gotten the blessing from both the sheriff and the Brigham chief, is we still have access to thousands of dollars of training, specialized training. We get access to their unit and their detectives, which is fantastic. And they will also reimburse some overtime. And most importantly to me is we get access to their equipment, some of the investigative equipment they use, really expensive, and it's a yearly subscription. For the sake of our investigations, I won't go into details, but I will say it's very important to our narcotic investigations, and it's super expensive. So it still makes sense to keep that relationship, but with the direction the unit's going, it just doesn't make sense for us as a city to contribute that full-time sergeant, because essentially they'd only be supervising one person, especially when we have a need back home for that. So I think it's in the best interest of our city.
So you're taking the money that you would have given to the employee that we haven't hired yet.
Correct.
And you've got enough in there to pay for this vehicle. So in the future, when we hire them, we can still buy a vehicle and we can pay this employee, and there's not going to be an additional ask.
Correct, and that should be all allocated through the fleet budget.
Through
So-
the capital vehicles budget.
Yeah, so when we hired Nick, as you recall, that was kind of a way for us to kick the can down the road a little bit, because they were actually providing that vehicle for that sergeant who went into the strike force. We knew this day would come, and with that mindfulness, we've improved our staffing drastically, but that one allocation, we kind of kept that out of play, and that way we can fund it later on without asking for additional funding from the council.
This still keeps Fremont City attached to the strike force so that we have access to them if we need them.
Yeah, it's the best of both worlds.
Right there, I mean, just keep that door open.
Yeah, we'll definitely preserve that relationship, and they've all at some point had to step back so they understand where we're at. And with Brigham's actually adding more assets to that unit, so if anything, we're getting more bang for our buck this way. Any other questions? Cool. Thank you. I just want to say thank you, Connie and Rick, for your service. I know it's a tough job. You guys are underappreciated in a lot of ways. I don't envy you a lot. You guys have a tough job, and you make big decisions. You did a lot of great things for our city. The police department, everybody was really sad, but also excited about the future, and they just got you a little something from the guys. So I'm going to bring this up real quick.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Chief. Let's see, DRC, I think,
Under the city administration reports, I actually had that written down as well, so thanks for the segue. But I wanted to thank Connie and Rick for all of their service. I've had a lot of good times at our trainings together with you and your spouses, and I appreciate everything that you guys, both of you, have done for the city. And also, we'd like to welcome on Jeff and, is Blair still here? Yeah, Blair and Jeff, and we're excited to work with them as well. So thank you very much.
Sean has been excused. He's with his daughter this evening, and so I think our DRC, we'll just kind of skip over that one unless there's something pressing that we need to talk about. Department head reports. Paul?
Yeah, two things. The chief and Mark stole my thunder. I want to thank the council for all they do for us. And I know I'm a hard person to deal with, and I know several of you have known that in the past. But I have the best interest of the city. I live here, my grandkids live here, and this is where I've had opportunities to leave, but I love Tremont, and I wanted my kids raised in Tremont. And I do appreciate the time spent with
with Rick, worked with him long before the city council and with Connie. Good job. And I want to make you the offer. I know the PD offers this all the time. Anytime you want to do a ride along with us during snowplow, I try to send out a text, say when we're going out, when we're through. Love to have you come with us. 2 things I can promise. It'll be as exciting as the PD probably, but you're not going to get to kick in a door or arrest anybody, but you're going to be working on a plow probably. And you're not going to have the most comfortable ride in the world because our vehicles aren't like their vehicles. You know, we get the blame a lot of times that we're going too fast. You'll see that going 25 miles an hour in a snowplow with the slush coming off that blade, it seems like you're going a lot faster than you are, but they're not. And our job is to try and move that snow off the road as fast as we can. We've got 50 miles of roads in town almost right now. And so it takes a while to do it, but we got good crews, and I'm not saying we have the best equipment, but we try to do the best we can with what we have. Because, you know, PC equipment alone, just a dump truck and a plow right now at this time, the small one, you're looking at $100,000 easy. And we just don't have that kind of funds to put together, put towards something that you use 10 times a year, maybe 20, depends on the year. Some years, none. So, but we do appreciate, and you do have that open standing. Anytime when I send that text out, if you want to, we'll get you in one of those trucks.
We appreciate you guys too getting up all hours of the night and being willing to go out and do it. Is there any way citizens can go for a ride if they're concerned about how you're?
That I have to check and see to make sure their liability is covered. I know you would be covered under our liability, but yeah, most likely it's possible, you know, we just can't get them out working on the truck when it breaks down or if it breaks down. Because plowing snow is really hard on those vehicles. The pounding that plate, I mean, you got a couple 1,000-pound blade hanging on the front of a frame of a vehicle, and it takes its toll on them.
Well, and then just the interaction of the snow and.
The pounding and the weight.
Pounding and everything, yeah.
Because you're pushing that wet snow. So just know that option's always open to you, so.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So if individuals leave their car out on the street, when does that individual receive notification that something needs to be done?
That's up to the police department if they cite anybody.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with us. We wish they were all off, and the ordinance calls for them to be off
Right.
from December through February at night and during snow removal, but we can't make that happen. And usually, even after a snow event, you can go out and see which ones that have snow on them and has the tracks of the plow going around the vehicle. And
Yeah.
so, and you know, and you can ask the guys when I send out the text, when we send them out, I say, don't hit any vehicles, don't hit any mailboxes. We get blamed for mailboxes when the snow actually breaks them and we don't hit them with the plow. We have hit some that hang over, and then as snow comes, the other one is be wary of kids because they love to build snow caves and piles that are along the road, and we start trying to push back a pile. That's our biggest fear, is worried that some kid is in there with a snow cave and we collapse it on them, or we plow them up with the snow. And so, I mean, that is a worry. And so when that happens, we tell the guys, be sure if you go pushing a pile that it doesn't have some kid built a snow cave in it. So, anyway, thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Let's see, Brady, do you want to give us a little update?
Been a minute since I've seen y'all. A couple things to just give you a quick update on. We've been a little bit busy. Wanted you to know that, as has been mentioned on vehicles, the fire department was budgeted for a new engine and a new ambulance in the current budget year. I've been in, prior to me getting here, I've been in consultation with both the vendor that's building the fire truck, the vendor that's building the ambulance. We won't see either of those vehicles until at the very early of 2025. So long ways out, and every time I talk to him, it's a couple more months, and it's a couple more months. So I think others have had similar experience, but we may still be 18 months out on those vehicles. Wanted to make sure that I shared that we were glad to be a part of the light parade. So the crew that went enjoyed that a lot, and we're going to try to work on a plan where we could get more involved in that down the road. Wanted to also share with you, in case you hear, you're all aware that the county is doing a study related to fire departments and what the future of the fire departments in the county should be. I was finally able to start giving them some significant data over the last couple of days, and I've got them probably about 20% of the data that they need, and I'll be working over the next week and a half to try to get them all of that data if I possibly can. So trying to support that study in the very best way we can. Last Saturday, we held our fire department Christmas party. We were able to give a couple of awards that I wanted to share with you. Adam Tischer works for us part-time. He was awarded Tremont Fire Department Employee of the Year. So super excited for Adam receiving that award. Among a long list of things that he's accomplished over this year, he, as a part-time employee, helping us fill vacant shifts, has worked 1,300 hours, helping us staff the ambulance and the engine crew. And that was a significant part of receiving that Firefighter of the Year award. We also awarded a group of individuals what we call EMS Incident of the Year award. You've heard the story about Cynthia Bagley, who rolled her vehicle into the West Canal and was rescued and revived. That crew, Nate Christensen, Mark Thompson, Jimmy Munns, Carl McBride, Andy McBride, and Josh Reese, we awarded them with a EMS Incident of the Year. And by the way, Cynthia has been to the fire station a couple of times now and visiting with a crew that saved her. So that's super exciting and almost a little touching. A couple other things. Tomorrow, we're going to probably kind of take over the back parking lot tomorrow night. Toys for Tots. The Marines Toys for Tots are coming to occupy part of the fire station tomorrow night to give gifts to families in need. We're expecting somewhere around 40 to upwards of 60 families coming to the fire station tomorrow night to receive the Marines Toys for Tots gifts for their families. So you may see a lot of activity in the back parking lot tomorrow night, and it's for a great cause. And then lastly, I want to share with you that as you may have remembered, I had shared that we had one vacant position for an employee who left to go work for another fire department. And we were able to make an offer on a full-time person to fill that position. A really good candidate. We had 11 individuals come test for that position, and we were able to pick a really good candidate. And so, assuming he makes it through the process, we have every reason to believe he'll make it through the background check and health screening. We'll be back to fully staffed on the full-time side. So that's all for me.
Thanks, Bernie. Oh, let's see. Did you have anything else that you wanted to?
No.
Okay.
Appreciate your support. That's all I needed tonight. So.
Okay. Sarah, did you have anything you wanted to share with us?
We did have a post on Facebook go viral talking about.
Yeah, you did. You certainly did.
It was not supposed to show the part with the trash cans being knocked over, but it did.
And how many hits did you say?
Well, last I looked, we're over 629,000. And I'm still getting notifications.
629,000 hits?
Views.
Views?
And it's mostly people who do plowing all across the country supporting our plowers for what they do. And setting the record of what they are supposed to be doing. It's actually been 95% of the comments have all been positive.
Oh, that's funny.
And we do have ordinances against garbage cans left on the street. You know what?
I was just not expecting that. So we got busy with Christmas lights and snow and got home and I was like, oh, well, it worked out.
Okay.
We went viral. More viral than the police one last year.
So what was the video? I'm not a Facebooker.
What was that?
What was the video?
It's just showing our plows doing their
But they
job
were,
and
they
thanking Public Works
plowed
for
over.
allowing
It's on the city.
And it's
Uh,
just.
garbage cans.
It was actually someone who had reached out to me concerned about speed and whatever, a friend of mine, and I asked them if I could use their video. And yeah,
It has Christmas music. so
it
it's
does.
festive.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
that was it.
you don't hear her comments. That really was on there.
Okay,
So.
all right. Okay, let's see, council reports. Rick, we're gonna let you
Thank you.
say your piece
Yeah.
here.
No, thank you. We have good city employees. They're looking out for the city and appreciate it. It's been a good 4 years. So, thank you. Keep it up, and if you see me on the crossroads, or the crosswalk, don't run me over. Paul, especially the trucks. So, no, but it's been good, so thank you. Appreciate it. And it's been good working with everyone here. So, had a good time. Thanks.
Yeah, well, thanks to Connie. Thank you, Connie, and thank you, Rick, for all your work. I ran into something this week, and I've been really talking about transparency over the last 4 years or so. There's a website. It's called citizenportal.ai. It's the most amazing thing, and I would, unfortunately, there's not a lot of people that watch or listen to what we're doing here. But if every citizen would get involved with this, it's really cool because what it does is it lets you watch the data, it doesn't make assumptions, but the data on a federal, state, county, and local level. And so I can go in here and I can ask it a question about something in our city, and it will show up every one of us when we've said something about it. It does great summaries of our city council meetings and emails them, and absolutely phenomenal. And so, I would say let's tell our citizens about this so that they can feel that we're trying to be as transparent as possible. Neat program. I was totally amazed with its capabilities. So if you get a chance, give it a try.
What's it called again?
Citizenportal.ai. And it's free. So anyway, really neat stuff. But again,
AI is in artificial intelligence?
Yeah, and that's what it is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, anyway, thank you.
I haven't got anything to report, but I need to add into Connie and Rick all the time and effort you spent the last 4 years. I don't think people realize how much work and effort goes into what happens behind the scenes, and thanks for all you have done. Appreciated working with you.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, I wanted to thank all the departments I've got to work with, I've got a chance to rub shoulders at DRC. That's my favorite meeting. And I love to go to planning commission meeting, working with the police, working with Public Works, working with the fire department, working with the library, helping with the farmer's market, just all the departments. They're professionals, and they do a great job. I seriously couldn't tolerate someone that puts down those employees that work for the Tree Mountain City. I couldn't tolerate it because they don't know what they're talking about. I applaud our mayor. I believe in what he's doing. I've worked side by side. We've had lots of conversations about what he's wanting for Tree Mountain City, and I support Mayor Holmgren very much. Appreciate the administrative team. I know I'm going to miss someone, but I feel like I've been in the tunnel with all these people, trying to do my part. And when we have Christmas celebrations or whatever we're doing, as members of the Tree Mountain City Council, we need to be visible. We need to be a part of it. And I'm grateful. It's been good for me to, again, work side by side, and to and to be a support to them. It's been a hard experience being on the Tree Mountain City Council. I've been in the actual audience for 20 years. And so, well, I guess 15. 4 of those years I've been here. But it's different to be here than it is to be there, as you would well know. And in my other position, working closely with the school district, I'll be there again, and that's fine. I've had opportunities to serve and to share my talents. It's been great, but I do want to applaud those that have been involved with what we've been doing to celebrate Christmas here. The light show has been amazing. We had our Christmas party. We've bent over backwards trying to involve and try to lighten people's lives in Tremont. So thank you. Thank you, Mayor. It's been good to work with the mayor. I just think the world of Mayor Holmgren. Support everything he's doing. Thank you, Lyle.
Thank you.
Well, I have nothing but admiration for being up here. You guys are done. Your time's up, and you'll never be replaced. You will just always be part of my heart, my family. Still won't see me at church, Rick, but Connie, you do. You've got more. Get up and go, and I've learned a lot from you, and I hope I can step into some of them shoes and help Phil when you're gone. But total admiration for you guys and everybody that's here. So thank you.
Well, this is the last city council meeting that we're going to have this year. And I just want to add my voice to what's been said. You guys have been great. You guys have been there when we've had hard things to have to try to figure out. It was not that many years ago when we made the decision to go with secondary water, and you guys have been there for the whole thing, and that was a hard thing to do, but I'm here to report that where it was a serious issue and we were worried about our water supply a few years ago, today that's not a concern, and it's because of the hard decisions that you guys made. I appreciate working with Rick and Connie. They've been super. During the Christmas party the other night, it was a blizzard. It was a total blizzard, and I got over there, and Connie was hurt. She was soaked clear through, but just had a great big smile on her face and was able to get through. It was kind of a difficult night, really, with as cold and wet as it was. Everybody was soaked clear through, but we made it happen with the farmers market and all of the other things that we've worked with and done. The whole idea is to make this a more livable community, to something that we can all be proud of, and it takes the people up on this to go above and beyond sometimes to make it work, to make it happen. And, we're excited, Jeff, Blair, we're excited about you guys coming on, and you're going to add another facet to the thing. You're going to have other interests. You're going to have other ideas, and I think it's just going to be exciting to be able to work with you and to be able to rub shoulders like we have with Rick and Connie and the rest of you, all of us on here. This has been it's been a great thing, and so I'm looking forward to that. We've got some big challenges ahead of us. I think first and foremost, like I mentioned, we've sort of worked our way through the water situation where it looks a little better now. I think our next step is to work through the housing situation and affordable housing in Utah, in Tremont, and it's more unaffordable housing is what we have. And, you know, we need something for our young people so they have a place to start. There's a quote that I ran across today, and I think it really, housing is sort of like the main wealth builder for the middle class. And what we're doing is we're hollowing out the middle class by making housing unaffordable. And so I think we've got some ideas we're going to have to put to just like we solved this issue with water, we can work on getting through this thing with affordable housing. So that's just my soapbox, I guess. But more important right now, I just want to thank Connie and Rick. You guys have been great. You develop really good friendships on this board, and certainly you two are top of the list. And I appreciate it so much. So with that, I guess we have one more motion.
It's got to be between you two.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second it.
You got to second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And I think, if you feel like it, you ought to come up and give Connie and Rick a handshake and tell them thanks.
Well,
That's in
Connie,
Archibald.
nobody fun
Yeah,
to
that's
sit
what
by.
Can.
Well, it's been great.
Well, so you.
Great to sit by.
Well, it's
I
been
got
great
to
to do
know
everything.
ya and
Yeah?
everything.